It has been about 2 weeks since I did the majority of my planting in my garden, and I'm sitting here in my in-ground bed where I have the majority of my herbs as well as some of my leafy greens, spinach, lettuce, that sort of type of plant. And because it's been 2 weeks already, some of my things like radish, they're growing very well, but it's time to think about succession planting. So succession planting is something that you do with some faster growing things that you want more fresh throughout the season. So as this is to the point where it's about a week or two away from harvesting, I start planting the next batch so that we will continuously have radishes or lettuce in the garden throughout the entire summer. So I'm just going to show you how that all works. So my radish is sitting here, and I actually planned the whole section. There's like a 2 by 1 foot section back here where I'm going to be doing the succession planting of my radishes. With square foot gardening, you can put 16 radishes per square foot. So I'm just going ahead and putting little divots in my soil so I know exactly where to place my radish seeds so that they grow equally throughout this space. So I've got 32 little holes there, and then I've just taken out some seeds and I've just popped them in the top of an old lid that I've recycled, and I'll just take one of those seeds and pop it into each hole. So 3, 4. Now, because the seeds are so small, you don't have to do them very deep. It's not going to take too much to get them to germinate, which is kind of nice. And that's one of the nice things about radishes, is because they are so fast growing, you can have fresh harvests of radish pretty much year round, during the growing season at least. So again, just 1 per hole. And then I just do like a small pinch to cover up the seed. It doesn't need to be much, just enough to get the soil to cover it. And then I just tamp it down in a little bit. And the reason for tamping it down is just so that that seed makes direct contact to the soil, and that will help with germination. So another way to do succession planting is by direct sowing into little nurseries, and that's what I have here in the foreground. This entire section here, it's about a 2 by 3 foot bed. It's specifically for my lettuce that I have 2 rings here where I have planted lettuce seed so that as it grows, I can have lettuce throughout the season. So essentially what I've done is I've just taken an old margarine container, and I have just used an X-Acto knife and roughly cut the rim of this margarine container off. So this right here, you can see, is just a 1/2 inch rim of this plant, of this margarine container, and I've just buried that into the ground. And then when I was planting, I was making sure that all my seeds stayed within this rim. And the reason I do that is because I have tried succession planting in the past, and I love weeding, which is weird, but because I enjoy weeding, anything that, look at this, anything that remotely looks like a plant that shouldn't be there, I pull it right back up. And often I found myself weeding things that I have intentionally planted. So using these rims is helping me keep my intentional plants safe from my weeding. So these 2 here I've planted with lettuce. So as soon as those are large enough, I'll be transplanting them directly into the bed where they are currently sitting. And then back here, what you can see is I have actually started spinach there. So when I started some of my spinach in the greenhouse, I started them indoors. When it was time to plant them outside, at the same time as I transplanted those ones, I planted some extra seeds in my nursery. So these ones here have a 2 to 3 week head start on my other ones, so that I can continuously have spinach in my garden. So that's one of the benefits. It's still direct sow, but because I have them in the nursery, I just have to go in there now, pull them apart, and separate them to individually plant them inside of this spinach bed here. With spinach, you can put about 4 per square foot. So I'm just making larger holes here than I did with the radish because the root ball is going to be a little bit bigger than that. And then just take each one of these spinach plants that I had in my nursery and just individually plant them, separating them so that they have a larger area to grow in, can develop their roots a little bit better.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to get more gardening tips and tricks. See you next time.